across the world for both of the fandoms of both of these teams. I think it's only KT fans that are feeling fine.
I don't know. KT fans, they had a lot of success recently.
Their feelings have not changed.
No.
I mean, I guess they're not fine. They're just still anxious.
Yes.
But not more or less. That was a bad example.
Yeah, you could have picked several of the teams.
Yeah. That was... Bro fans are fine. Bro fans are rejoicing.
They're chilling.
Because they're not going to lose ever again. All of 2025 is 0 defeats. So that's pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, you're assuming they're going to go undefeated at the Casper Cup.
I mean,
they are
talking about the defending Casper Cup champions here, Ox. Okay,
fair.
I think we know that they're going to be fine. All right, we do have the Aurora and the Yunara both banned away here as T1 remain on the blue side. Orianna and Azir still continue to be banned.
Okay, so J4 was banned by T1 last time. Bard was banned by DPLUS last time.
Ooh.
Annie going to be banned. So Jungler's being left open by T1. It was the J4 and Wukong banned last time. They're both being left up. But the fact that the Aurora's being banned makes me think maybe they want to look for a top laner. So Wukong gets taken away by DPLUS. I feel like that kind of ups the prio on J4, but also Xin with Trundle being gone is pretty good. I feel like it could just be a top laner here if you want to get prio on that with that Aurora ban.
I wouldn't mind a Rumble, but the J4, I actually think that it's a great pick for Oner, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a phenomenal pick away from Lucid because Lucid has been just putting wins together on this champion. I think it was like 7-0 or something like that. Something ludicrous. I don't know what the scoreline is right now, but it's good. I'm willing to bet that. As let's see what DPLUS do want to go with here as their next decision. Looks like it's Demacia in the jungle.
Yeah, Zinzao makes a lot of sense. Lucy's been having some fantastic games on it. So no real surprise that gets secured by him. And then you have the opportunity to take top lane here if you do want to take the Rumble yourself.
And if there's a priority mid laner that Showmaker wants to go with, he could also collect that one. You could also take away, like, I mean, you can't pick a Sivir.
Talia get a look in,
true,
surprisingly enough. I guess it was a Ryze first pick in the Cassiopeia match, so that makes sense to an extent. But it will just be that Rumble. I guess Rumble Jarvan, not a combo you want to give over to the other side. Makes a lot of sense to deny that away.
Oh, instead
going for the Lucian. So, I mean, Aiming had a fantastic game. Wanted to give priority for that. I will say we have pretty exclusively seen Lucian Braum.
Yep.
So this does kind of telegraph what is coming on that third pick. And now T1 have a choice. They can go for like a strong 1-2 into that specifically, or they can go for different lanes, knowing that like the Braum's going to come in and not going to respond. I personally wouldn't have gone with the Alistar. I was thinking you could maybe go something like the Nico.
True.
And this is bold from DPLUS to forego the Braum and instead say, hey, you're picking Alistar, we're taking Sylas.
Yeah, you can understand that because Alistar is kind of the enabler of the Sylas to the enemy team.
I mean, this is also... So they're foregoing the Braum, which is definitely going to get banned. Expectation, because we've just seen Lucian Braum in almost every time we've seen Lucian that I remember. So they're kind of foregoing the fact that
they've cooked. I assume they've cooked, right? There's another plan. There's something that they want to use. They've been brewing it up.
I mean, it can't be Nami into Jarvan. Surely that's just a bad time.
That does not seem very good.
Also, if you ult, you can put the equalizer out. So you know, that's a thing, right?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's exactly how that works. If you put a Nami wave over the top of the barbecue goes out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Runeterran physics. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, so Ornn comes out as a ban to limit a pick that we typically see into the Rumble. Can obviously weather the storm early and then build Kanik Ruka in and just never take damage again. It is going to be that Sylas ban, denying that pick into the Alistar to get that high value ult. And also the Braum getting denied as well, so that Lucian Braum not going to come through. A lot of priority put onto this Rumble, and it is looking like it might just be the Nico. So not a traditional pairing that we see with Lucian.
Nope. Nor is this, really, if he decides to go with this one. But Rumble Rakan is very powerful. That's Janet, and that will be locked in.
Oh.
Okay, that was the plan. And Beryl has already played this. I think he's 1-0 so far this year on the Janna. And with the Eye of the Storm, the Lucian could actually find some pretty good value.
Yeah, so you have the shielding to obviously empower his autos. into Jarvan, into Alistar, Janna gets so much value. You also have that Enchanter plus Xin Zhao pairing that we often see come to great effect. Playing into the Talia though, this is a pretty solid comp from T1, but I'm interested to see how the Janna can perform into this, because again, the engage from T1 is nullified heavily by it, but you don't exactly outrange T1's composition. If you had a longer range carry, it could be, you know, a situation where it's like, oh, they can't reach you, you can just hammer down on them, but that's not really a thing right now.
Wait. Okay, I'm not sure whether this is going to be the thing. We're looking for what Doran's going to play. And it looks like it's going to be a Scion there towards the top side of the map, just going to absorb the pressure. As Ahri going to be the consideration here for Showmaker. He has really loved this pick. Ahri Xin has been a fair bit of power in the duo as far as mid-jungle is concerned. But Ahri just kind of doesn't make us feel good.
Yeah, so
here at the LCK. They're very, very good at being there in the clutch. Well, they don't have too many extra lives as we jump into the Rift here for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. On to the Rift for the second game of this series. It is a best of 5. No one's gone home just yet, but match point with 3 games to play would be a pretty huge advantage here for DK. And T1 have the opportunity to move this over to just a best of 3.
Yep. That's the thing, that with it being Fearless now, it's like a spicy best of 3.
True.
You know?
True.
The added element of those removed picks definitely makes it a lot more interesting when you come down to the point where it's 1-1.
Yep, but and also DK don't have that free Ziggs game that they've been relying on quite a bit over the last couple of series. So, not to be the case. Of course, you know, already picking up a win with the Ziggs game. Just wasn't their Ziggs. So, maybe we can include it. As aiming is just going to get a ward down, and then his ward goes down.
You know, we had a scenario where aiming obviously got a massive lead last game. I feel like DPLUS allowing him just to hit plates constantly. Guma not really given much of an opportunity to do the same in return. With T1 having, you know, 2 carries, and obviously Jarvan can do a good amount if he's ahead, but he's not like a carry in the way that a Sivir is. I really feel like Guma needs to be strong. And when you're sharing a lane with an Alistar, you're obviously going to be on the back foot early, but T1 need to set him up for success.
Yep.
Because if he ends up in a scenario where he's 2,000-3,000 gold behind again, if aiming starts doing the goldkin things, this might just be a blowout.
It really could be. And I want to go back to what I believe it was Wadid talking about this a couple of series ago, and that's the fact that T1 doesn't really play around Gumayusi all that much. And it has been to their detriment in a few of their games thus far. He's been sort of left out to dry in a fair bit of decision-making, but also even in sort of like the microclasm of a team fighters. We are going to see a good little headbutt back onto Beryl. Doesn't find all that much value with that tornado as the flash forward from Oner as well. Beryl holds the flash for a very long time and then stays alive as Oner almost not so lucky, down to 100 health as he backs away. But double summoners now removed from Beryl is going to be a big deal for pressure in the bottom lane for T1.
Yeah, I will say Beryl played that about as well as you can because they really wanted to get that final knockup, but because he gained so much distance on the back end, Oner couldn't follow him with the flash. He's on a 5-win streak, and do you want to know, all of those 5 games, we're actually in playoffs. It's 5-0 in playoffs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, on the counterpoint, Pantheon 0-5 in playoffs. So if you're wondering why we're seeing no Pantheon, a lot of Xin Zhao at the moment, that's why. Yep,
we've had enough nerfs, as it turns out. Faker is going to be going back home, but as you can see in the farm numbers, just doing okay. We'll be teleporting back in with a tier in hand. We're building towards that Seraphs as Lucid will be taking down this Rift Scuttler and now looking for a little bit of an invade. As Keria, that was a Hex Flash, just playing around as he wants to hold on to this wave, will be sent skyward as Beryl is just wailing on the cow.
Yeah.
The headbutt does come on through here, but Keria looking a little worse for wear. As, I mean, he's holding the wave for a teleport, I guess, when that eventually comes in from Doran, because there is a lane swap in effect.
Yeah, it is just going to bounce back anyway, though, so it hasn't really achieved too much.
Sometimes you just You just want to take a few Janna auto attacks.
Yeah. Well, either way, we get a swap coming through, so Guma avoiding the matchup that was a little bit tricky, with him being on the bot side into the ranged, double range matchup as ranged melee.
Yep.
Doran now, though, that's the thing, you know, typically Sion in the lane swap matchup, obviously very happy, but Rumble also pretty okay with it, but needs level 6, really.
Yep. He will be getting there relatively soon, as you can see. She already level 5, but in the very early stages of it, so needs maybe a wave or two before he will be at that level 6. That Ardent Blaze was very satisfying there from aiming, as they will be able to crash this wave in. As you mentioned, I mean, Doran should be fine. He's Sion. He's kind of built for lane swaps. It's kind of how it works. As we'll see whether Shiu can actually collect this this minion. It was almost the comment that was enough there, as Doran taking a bit of damage towards the bottom side. Thank you, Jonah Strong. As the cannon will be denied here on the bottom side of the map, I assume the same thing happened in the top lane, as Showmaker does get shoved back. Shredded Volley also doing a fair bit of work, as Lucid, speaking of work, getting to it here on this Dragon towards the bottom side. And already about a 400 gold lead has been accrued by DK just in the laning phase alone, largely to do with this Rumble and the Lucian that are having a pretty good time. Oner not going to be able to steal away this Dragon, and I don't think T1 needs to be too worried about it for now.
Yeah, but it's a big move from DPLUS, bringing both bot laners up to ensure they get the Dragon. And it means Doran got to grab that entire huge wave on the tower, so he's very comfortable now. Hit level 6.
Yeah, he's back in it.
And really just able to farm comfortably there. So Doran in a pretty chill spot right now. I mean, I say chill spot, he is under the tower right now.
Yeah.
And they are trying to make the wave push out away from him, putting him in an uncomfortable position going forwards.
And the Tornado is very annoying when it comes to interrupting backs.
Yeah, also just not really fun to play Sion into Janna, who can just, from a distance, stop you charging up your Decimating Smash. Very easy to do.
Yeah, it's been like... Janna was so incredibly strong at the very beginning of League of Legends.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the players of old know just how frustrating this champion is.
Yeah.
And Doran is remembering as we speak.
Yeah.
It was just so hard to kill. She just ran so far, floated so fast.
When she gave movement speed to everyone on the map, oh, yeah. Showmaker.
Yeah, that's the flash. Has to come out there. Good seismic shove placement from Faker to make sure that that one did come on through. And I think he was dead if Oner was able to get that knock up on him as well.
I think, honestly, he could have just ulted through the rocks and got stunned on the tower, and he could have been okay.
Ah, true.
But went for the flash instead. Didn't want to lose too much HP. Didn't want to get chunked out and potentially... get bursted, maybe.
Yep. I also might have wanted to hold on to some of the combat power of having the ulti. I'm not.
Yeah, that's also valid. I think it's a little hindsighty, but I think that would have allowed him to save the longer cooldown.
Yep.
But we do have Grubs in 42nd, and I think the ult, as you said, the combat power more important to have the ult for that.
As Beryl will actually tank the Q. So Doran is able to at least get some value there. As we see, because of those grubs coming up, aiming now moving towards the top side. Faker does get control of this mid lane. Will be shoving this one out, as Faker actually in pretty good standing at the moment in mid. As Lucid comes over, spotted on this ward. And Faker throws some rocks at him. Charm is going to connect though, as in goes Lucid, skirting the rocks as Faker has to flash to get himself out. Beryl was making his way over. But Janna ganks aren't necessarily the most impactful things. Still getting the flash, a big deal, especially with grubs just coming up now.
Yeah, the flash and the chunk on a Faker whose TP isn't quite available yet. Also, the Weaver's Wall not quite there too. So now DPLUS, they can immediately grab a grub.
Yeah, they will be able to take one of them, but Keria is going to be able to sweep out this pit, and it looks like T1 have retaken position.
Yeah, the big thing was because Beryl was assisting with that mid play, he wasn't helping aiming in the top lane, aiming's grabbing that wave, so they'll take the one grub, they won't stay around for more.
Shiu is underneath the turret here, as the equalizer
spot to be in.
Yeah. Equalizer placement was a thing, as they're setting up for a potential dive here onto Faker. Wind becomes lightning, and Lucid gonna flash out of the way, gets a nice knock up, and Faker, remember, no flash, and will be taken down by the horde of minions that had been prepared earlier. The flash has to come out here from Shiu, though, as Doran makes his way down. Still, first blood going over to DK, a good start once again.
Yeah, double sums has to be committed by DPLUS, but they managed to get the kill, they managed to get out, and T1 moving down to respond to try and get the exit kill. just ends up committing a lot of time, a lot of members to no real benefit for them. So nice pickup there, Lucid, good execution, dodging the seismic shove.
Yeah, it was nicely played. And man, the aggression from this guy, it reminds me of, you know, Challenger Lucid from back in the day. You know, the guy that would just make any play and make it work.
As president of the Lucid fan club, I obviously remember.
Yeah, no, of course.
Challenger's Lucid.
Yeah. Chronicler was, I mean, he was there, but he wasn't, was he truly there? You know?
Yeah,
I remember him telling me a lot about Dundun and the Nongshim players. So he knows, I know he knows a lot about them.
Yeah, he did this thing where he was kind of starting, he was just like, oh yeah, I'll start a fan club for every player. And then he waits for them, he waits to see which one shows up, and then he'll just be like, oh, I was always a fan.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really a fan of that sort of thing.
Well, you're a fan of Lucid.
Specifically, yes.
Yeah. We figured that one out.
Yeah.
As Faker will be clearing out this wave in mid, and we do have the game slowing down somewhat. 26 seconds, though, until the second dragon here, and it will be a Mountain Soul this game. T1 very, very good at getting Earth, Wind, and Fire dragons.
I'm gonna hold you to this.
It's likely to happen.
Oh!
As Beryl flying around a little bit here, as Keria is ghosting for him. Let's see whether Beryl's going to be able to make it, as the Monsoon is going to be waited for, and they pile on top and take out the Janna. Wow, that was immediate punishment as soon as the Monsoon came in.
Yeah, you saw Doran's ult was like a couple of seconds away when he got that decimating smash, and as soon as that max charge smash came in, Beryl was just not in a good position.
Oh, teleport actually going to be employed by Doran to get towards the top side of the map, though, so they're not going to be able to necessarily turn this into a dragon, especially with Showmaker holding on to mid control for now.
I think the thing is, even though they got that kill, they've been Sion ult, they've been Jarvan ult, they've been Sivir ult, and Janna gets back so quickly.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, cool, we got the kill, we're not going to overcommit for the fight, especially because you look at the inventory of the junglers. That is the one thing you look at and you say, we're not fighting.
Yeah.
If one jungler has Sundered Sky and the other doesn't, no, we're not interested. We don't.
It's the Sundered Sky rule.
Yeah, and honestly, you look across the board, mid laners, 80 carries, item completions heavily in favor of DPLUS. And even though you can see, you know, Oner's just finished his now, I'm sure Faker and Guma are quickly going to follow. That little window where DPLUS had the advantage, I think T1 making the right call of just not flipping the game on a dragon. And it is going to be a Chemtech Soul, which T1 pretty happy. It's not going to be one of the strongest souls. I will say, though, that Janna going to get some nice extra healing and shielding value out of that.
That's true, but it's supposed to be a mountain. That was what was written down in the script, but I think I've been given a fake script now because I couldn't be trusted with the last one. Makes a fair bit of sense, as Keria is going to get a dangerous back massage from aiming. And will be told to leave. A lot of vision here for DK was invested towards that bottom side to guarantee the double dragon, and now Shiu is going to get left out to dry. Equalizer doing a fair bit of damage, but that's a lot of CC, and he will just be taken down. Scrap Shield will allow him to at least get this wave, or the majority of it, as now a counter dive towards the bottom side as aiming is flashing away, had turret aggro, and did need to be a little bit worried about that one. There is the Unbreakable Will from Keria, and that will keep him alive. And so no kills on the cross map here for DK.
Yeah, Keria finding a great angle there to punish aiming, who is under the tower. So good gang for T1 on the top side. No major punishment here. We will get aiming, picking up some plates again, though.
Oh dear.
That is a little bit worrying. And it feels like if he starts to amass a big lead over Guma once more, that could be definitely the win con for DPLUS.
Well, now it's up to 600 gold, as we can see, as the Tornadoes are just streaming their way over the top of these minions. In comes Sion. Hey, buddy. It's going to be a bit of damage onto Beryl as the Zephyr comes out, and Doran remembers that his life is probably not going to be very fun hanging out underneath this turret, but he's doing a decent job.
I mean, he's already very tanky, all things considered. You know, we've sometimes seen Sions fall behind a good amount and be like low econ. Oh, I'm saying that. He's getting bullied out a good amount now.
Exactly. Essence Reaver now done for aiming, so he's feeling a little bit better. But still, it's only 50% of Doran's health bar. He should be able to get a fair bit of that back.
Okay, Lucid's coming down. If they force him off the tower, they could probably just pick this up on this wave with a cannon.
They're doing their very best to punish Doran. This whole series, I mean, Game 1 was another example of it. But in the last passage of play, DK have given up a fair bit of ground. You know, the gold lead has basically disappeared.
Yep.
So certainly some good moves here from T1 to stabilize in this mid game.
Again,
the plates do fall down.
They have those 2 dragons, but it's not the most meaningful soul. Oh, he has... sorry, Doran, he has flash.
Well, he might have to use it here, as Lucid will be able to find the knock-up. Orbit Deception comes down, and oh, he's just dead. And he knows it. Not going to be able to flash out of this one, and he will get some use out of the passive as he runs towards the turret and towards Showmaker by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think it was the right call just to save the summoner. I think as soon as you see the Ari specifically, you're like, well, I'm not going to wait. You know, he didn't have ult. The flash is only going to be an extra ult charge from Showmaker. It does unfortunately mean that Showmaker doesn't even have to commit the ult, but the 5-minute cooldown obviously a lot longer. And now Showmaker going to be able to pick up this tower. Doesn't get the extra plates that were there just a moment ago. Yeah, but will get that first tower, and it's going to mean DPLUS 1 objective or 1 kill away from Feats of Strength.
Very, very close. Feats of Warfare are available for both teams with 1 kill. See whether T1 can get one here as they're posturing in the mid lane. Teleport in from Doran to get him towards this bottom side of the map, as another time it is going to be a fairly aggressive one, looking to try and punish Showmaker, but not going to be able to do so. Okay, and of course, with Spirit Rush, he is going to be fine.
He doesn't have TP yet, but oh.
Yeah, Weave as well coming on down. Shiu does have Flash and uses it to get out of that seismic shove. Is now aiming once again, throwing the culling into the cow. As Gumayusi with On the Hunt already procced. Fair bit of damage onto Lucid here, as we've got the Unstoppable Onslaught interrupted there by Showmaker, and the Charm is going to come down as well. That's going to take the Scion out of the fight, as Redemption getting Lucid healthy once more, but Showmaker isn't quite that.
Yeah, his TP's up soon, so I think he's going to try and recall. Actually, he doesn't have time to. We'll just stay around on low HP. Okay, he's going for it now. They stole out the Herald. He's going to recall TP back in.
Or just walk back in unless they start it. So he doesn't even need to commit that just yet.
Okay, he is TP in. Yeah, they're trying to stall it out. He got chunked out pretty heavily. It is, though, aiming picks up Navori. And that's a huge spike for the Lucian.
He was sitting on a chunk of gold.
Yeah, it means you can basically just play If on Lucian and have no cooldown. So DPLUS should be confident with that spike that they can really go for this. Set up for aiming, whose flash is nearly available. That's the only thing. His flash is down for a little bit longer.
Oh, Shiu in a little bit of trouble here. Seismic Shove is going to pick up the Rumble.
Do we have to recall Chiwu now and having TP back in, maybe? You know, Showmaker did a second ago, and now a Chiwu.
Yep, double teleports would then be invested to make this play happen, but instead it's looking like Soul Point on the cards here for DK, and not a lot of vision available for T1 in the area. It looks like they are opting in for a trade, but this will be Feats of Strength going over to DK, no matter whether they won the race or not, for the objective. So some upgraded shoes, as well as having that Soul Point, which is so important.
Yeah, I think it's telling that it's a Chemtech Soul. I think if this was a Hextech Soul, a Mountain Soul, I don't think T1 would be as willing just to give up the 3rd dragon in that situation. So the RNG of the Soulspawn doing a lot of favors for T1, but DPLUS still 1 away from that. It's still a spike, still obviously going to help them out if they can secure it.
Yeah, Xin, Ari, and the Janna all kind of like it, the Chemtech Drake, so we'll see. I think that it isn't necessarily the most pivotal dragon, as we all know.
Yeah.
But all dragons are good, I guess. As Doran going to be unstoppably onslaughting towards the bottom side of the map. Doesn't work as a verb, but it's always good to try. As the Howling Gale is going to sail by. Looked great, didn't do much. And T1 just trying to set up some defensive vision now towards this bottom side, or at least Doran is. And looking to try and catch some waves. So we have the Jarvan and the Scion with some slight advantages, but it's the bottom side of the map for DK that really are in good standing, and Showmaker, once again, having a pretty great performance here today. I liked the interruption of Doran making his way towards the potential Herald fight.
Yeah, normally a tankier member is the one you want to tank that, but you know, Showmaker will do it. We do now have Adakan spawning on the bottom side of the map with that soul in 3.5 minutes, and then Adakan a bit earlier, so the focus is very much going to be on the bot side. I feel like this game we've had a lot of trading between the teams, a lot of cross-mapping. We're going to get this sort of straight-on headbutting coming soon around that bot side. But now that we are getting the Herald coming mid, and all of T1 are kind of moving in, the wall's coming through.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice knock-up onto Keria there as Doran off to the side. Teleport on the flank angle, though, as Shiu looking to make his way in. Doran not going to find any joy with that Q as another culling comes down. Keria almost just out of the fight before it's even started. And in fact, that is the case. They don't invest anything either. It wasn't an early equalizer or anything like that to start that fight off. So just the culling employed, and they get them away from the outer.
Yep, the threat of the TP was enough to force them to back away. And that will save the tower. It's very low, though, as a result of the Herald charge, but it will just buy DPLUS a little bit more time with that mid-tier 1 up and available. Showmaker just get a recall. He's got the Blackfire Torch Cosmic Drive sort of build, so you just have permanent movement speed because the dots keep refreshing the movement speed. So a lot of haste and a lot of speed. Not the highest damage build available to the Ahri, but obviously able to skid around the fights quite effectively. Now Shiu Flash is almost up.
Yeah, just barely. Does use it right when it comes back off, but there is a Cataclysm down. Still gonna be able to make his way out of there. And Oner respecting the damage of this Rumble, and Faker even teleporting in on top of it.
I feel like that's one of those situations where they had the Flash down timed and margin of literally seconds.
Yep. And even the Cataclysm still managed to catch him, but unfortunately, he managed to create enough distance to get himself out of the way, and now Showmaker in this side lane with teleport available, unanswerable. I mean, Doran is making his way up, but doesn't even have the ability to drive up there, and so he's going to be catching that one. The Otacon spawning now, and DK with a lot of tempo, a lot of control around this map right now, especially with the looming threat of the Dragon Soul they have a monopoly on right now. Feels like DK making some good choices so far this series. Just don't know what that means, and I don't want to infer anything because people will say cast a curse stuff if I do.
They definitely will.
Not Chronicler though, he won't. He doesn't believe in those.
Yeah.
That's all right. Culling, once again, aiming is just, yeah.
It's specifically Keria.
Specifically Keria, exactly.
And I feel like, to be fair, Keria is slower and also bigger and tankier than a lot of his teammates, so it makes sense that it's Keria. But not a fun time for
It does feel rude, regardless.
It does feel rude. It does feel personal.
Yeah. Not very nice.
How much of that damage dealt is specifically to Keria?
Well, I want to see that number. I think that's the important number.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can go off and get that stat.
We should develop like grudge stats, you know? How much damage you dealt to person.
And then you could set up like revenge numbers to see whether they can get that damage back. And in Keria's case, it's impossible because he's an Alistair, which is a bit of a shame. But if it was like 80 carry versus 80 carry, they could like, and top laner versus top laner, those stats would be really fun.
Yeah.
We should talk to.
I mean, top laners always do so much damage to each other. It's just like.
yeah, but like, who got the most grasp stacks against each other specifically? Like those sort of stats.
True.
That would be very fun.
That's what we need to know.
That's the important information.
Just
we'll have a chat to
stacks per minute, just always available on screen.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be so good. All right, well, DK without too much control of this area. Banana Brush trying to get picked up here by T1, but they are going to have their control ward removed, especially with Showmaker moving up from the south. And now it is soul time for DK. T1 looking to deny it if they can, but if they do manage to take this streak, it is just one Chemtech. Doesn't mean a massive amount, as aiming, looking for Keria here with that culling as the equalizer goes down. Redemption comes on in, the charm goes wide. Fair bit of damage coming on through, but no commitment here. As DK will back away. A fair few buttons now on cooldown on the hunt, as well as the equalizer being the big ones.
Culling down as well.
True.
Redemption used to heal up a little bit here. And the Rumble's, I mean, he's on a flank angle, but a bit distance from the rest of the team without the equalizer. That can be risky.
Yep, seismic shove as Shiu gonna move now towards Faker. Keria, 50% health as Showmaker looking for an angle. That's a Mega Cone, remember, as the flash forward from Doran. Monsoon from Beryl here, trying to come on through as in fact it was the Crescent Guard as Lucid flashes his way out, but the Cataclysm will be able to take him down. Still the charm connects, and the Jarvan falls down as well. Doran trying to be a monster in the front line, but Gumayusi is skirted on top of here by Showmaker. They take down the Scion, but they do not get the soul. That is a big deal. It's still a big win though for DK.
Huge win in the fight. It ends up being Doran who secures the Dragon there to deny the soul. But so much was burned onto Lucid, I feel, and Beryl able to keep him alive for a good amount longer. The Janet Peel coming in clutch. And we see with the open up, Doran attempts his play on aiming, the ult, but doesn't get the decimating smash in time, the flash dash to keep him alive. And then Lucid ults so much. They try and focus him, but Beryl monsoons. Lucid flashes out. Yes, he dies, but so much was committed. Charm comes round to take Oner down in return.
Even the Howling Gale was massive in that fight as well, getting the double knock-up on both of the frontliners, allowing Showmaker to then get the angle onto Gumayusi to get him out of the fight.
Yeah, and the damage has just been shredded, and you see all three of the frontliners on T1 going down in return for just Lucid. And the momentum That's obviously given over when the Ahri starts to get those resets is massive. So we don't see Arakan going down as a result with no jungler available and some low health bars. DPLUS don't overcommit to it. It's a 2,000 gold lead, so an advantage still in favor of them, but not securing the soul. Definitely big 41 to deny that one.
I'll teleport in from Showmaker here, gets him back over towards this Arakan. Still having that one on their minds for the moment. It was also able to take that top outer turret.
It is a Black Cleaver for aiming. We have seen this build, so not as much. Oh,
Keria finding a pulverize, but it's only on to Beryl for now. Crescent Guard out here as well from Lucid, who finds himself in a very awkward spot. Cataclysm, as it's a possible overextension here for Oner, but he finds a phenomenal flag and drag on top of Beryl, and then the pulverize comes on in, but still, the damage is massive. It's just not enough as T1! They manage the aggro perfectly and wipe out 4 members of DK.
What a team fight from T1. The low health bar so close to going down, but just enough to survive. Showmaker doesn't get the resets, isn't able to translate. Beryl goes down, aiming to follow. And we see it ends up starting off, and it's a little bit haphazard. They get the engage initially on the Beryl. The Monsoon's burn early, and then this re-engage comes out from Oner. He gets bounced up, but goes back in. Look at his health.
Yeah.
Re-engages, sets up for Doran, sets up for Keria. Guma gets focused here, but flashes out. The stun comes in a Showmaker, and it's just T1 team fighting at its best.
This was, it looked suicidal.
It was,
Oner.
he died.
Yeah, well, but like, look at how much he achieved.
It was so good. It was so well played.
My God, he is just,
Actually,
he's something else.
he didn't even die.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did. I just assumed when he was on that low,
He should have.
He should have died.
You're exactly right. But
Wow, he didn't
Oner
even
is-
die. He didn't even die. That's even more insane. I honestly thought, I watched that and I watched the replay and I thought he died after watching it 2 times. That's crazy.
But as it turns out, he did die, but it was a different time of the game.
He didn't die because he sundered the sky. There you go.
Oh, that's poetry. That's beautiful. Put that in your palm comment or something like that later on. As DK now looking to try and defend as the Arakan's still up and available. Pulverize coming on through here as Lucid finds himself cornered off, but Showmaker has a good angle. The equalizer's down in a great position, is now aiming, working like a typewriter as he looks to soften up T1. The health bars are getting low, but they do make their way out. We'll just see whether this is actually going to be enough for DK to lock down this Arakan, because that looks like the prize that they're looking for, but you can see not actually going to commit for it. And T1 are going to start it off themselves now as teleport to come in. DK still in the area, but they have no vision of this.
Yeah, DPLUS feel hesitant because they've lost Showmaker's ultimate. Now they have to approach. They don't have control of the area against Talia Sion.
Oh, Faker goes golden, seeing that charm coming over the wall as now aiming gets flashed into. Headbutt pulverize, and there's everything, but he still managed to flash away. The Monsoon's down as well as Faker was taken out. Lucid gets into the backline, but Gumayusi, oh no! He's taken down, and now aiming is frontlining into Doran, and that is exactly what he was looking for. DK strike back and find themselves a great team fight.
And it's Beryl flashing in to help take down Gumayusi, the DPS Janna, to finish it up. It looked like T1 maybe found the angle onto aiming, but the peel for the Janna coming in clutch to keep him alive. And DPLUS answer back. They'll be able to cash in on the Arakan, and it's 15 seconds on that dragon.
Yeah, they are going to look for a back first, I think, because their health bars are very, very low. But let's have a look at this one once again.
Yeah, so Faker has to stasis because the charm came in, and then the flash ult from Doran. Aiming looks like he's going to die, but the Monsoon, the flash comes in. Lucid finds Faker, looks for Guma, and then look, Beryl at the end actually flashes to W to kill Guma.
That's my goat right there.
I knew you'd love that one.
Absolutely insane. As Oner now with positional control. And the best thing about this is, yeah, DK, they managed to get Arakan. They've still got Soul Point, things like this. The Rebel Baron power play, not massive, but T1 still managed to get that Baron. And so the gold is still in their favor. This game is anyone's. It's a Chemtech Soul as well. And so I don't think either team is too worried. There are a lot of petals in advantage for DK, so the Arakan does feel fantastic. This is still anyone's game as Showmaker has to use the ulti to get out of the way of Faker, but my God, the damage from this Ahri.
But the Honey Fruit going to heal him back up, and that's Ahri ult down. It is a low cooldown at this point with the amount of haste he has, and with the fact that he's level 16, but the Dragon's getting shredded down quickly.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to get this smite, as it's another one that T1 desperately want to be able to find for themselves. The Howling Gale not quite finding the avenue in as Lucid is in position. Faker looking for the wall angle, and he will be able to get that one down. Wind becomes lightning, but there's the headbutt to get the jungler out of there. Keria might sacrifice himself, though, as the seismic shove, and down goes Lucid. Now Doran trying to get it done as Oner finds aiming, but the Relentless Pursuit's going to get him out of there. It's a good charm as well, but Oner just flashes on top of him, and Showmaker has to flash away. It's a triple for Gumayusi, and T1 this time find the team fight.
Almost 8,000 damage from Guma. The Ricochet shredding DPLUS there. The Anakin buff not doing enough, and now T1 will look to do a lot of damage to the base. Can they end here is the question.
I mean, that would be ridiculous, surely. It's 30 minutes, though.
They're going to do a lot of damage to the base at minimum. Showmaker, I think, should be enough to dissuade them from ending, but a lot of damage is going to be done.
It should at least be an inhibitor, and they might even be able to get an avenue towards this top lane one as well. And if anything, it's going to be a gigantic swing in gold. About 4,000 is what they were able to put together here to extend that lead. And Oner comes alongside Doran to be able to take down this inner turret as well. So that is going to make it a 5,000 gold lead, and DK are well and truly on the back foot now.
Yeah, so we see how the fight plays out, and ultimately Lucid doesn't get his ult off because he tries to make it in, gets knocked up, the chain CC ends up coming through from the seismic shove, no ult, dies so quickly. Barrel without flash just gets chased down, and Guma, the ricochets are coming through, ends up doing so much the bounces. And I honestly didn't feel like he actually got that many autos off for how much damage he did, because that's how strong the Sivir is right now. Just
more items.
A few autos on the right targets and the right positioning, and Guma massacred DPLUS. It's a squishy composition from DPLUS. There's not that much armor between them.
Yep.
And he just melted them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so DK now finding themselves 4.5k gold behind. Still with Soul Point, but it's starting to mean less and less as T1, if they can get another one, we could be talking about quad Chemtech Soul, which is a lot of Chemtech Soul, is my
that would make
official
the
prediction.
Sky go crazy.
It would.
It also makes the Unending Despair and the Scion Shield go crazy.
And the more of Malmortius Lifeline go crazy. Outside of that, not a whole lot more. I guess Lifesteal on the Sivir.
Yippee. Doesn't actually work on Lifesteal.
Oh, okay, never mind. Triumphant Roar.
Yep, works on that. Works on the shield bow shield.
There you
Redemption.
go. The Redemption obviously is the biggest deal. As now Lucid might find himself in an awkward position once again. This time has the whole crew with him, but the seismic shove comes down yet again. This time he got the ult off, but it doesn't actually matter. As now Aiming finds himself in amongst two frontliners. Showmaker looking to make his way in, and Aiming is just dead. Out of position entirely. Keria finds the headbutt back, and you thought you were chasing the cow. He was just getting you in position to be butchered yourself. And T1, I don't think they're losing another fight in this game.
Yep, they've got control of this one now. T1 6,000 gold ahead, gonna pick up another Baron here. And Guma just melting everyone in DPLUS he sees. I think DPLUS really lost control of this game. It doesn't look like they're gonna be able to close out and get Soul on this one. The Janna, I think there was a lot of positives earlier in the game, but it hasn't just really come together, and it feels like this team fight structure from T1 going such a long way. The front line, hard to break through. And even though this time Lucid gets his ult off, he kind of just gets shredded. Guma just stands inside the ultimate and just melts him.
Yeah, and then Aiming finds himself in a very uncomfortable position. The fact that Oner can just flag and drag over that wall meant that there was nothing he could really do. And even though Keria goes down, it is well and truly worth it with 3 lying on the floor. So that does guarantee the Baron. And now with Baron number 2, T1 should be able to take yet another inhibitor if they would like to, but also guarantee position around this dragon to even up the soul points. And I just don't think that soul is going to be something worth talking about in this game, especially after talking about it so much for the majority. It just hasn't seemed to matter.
Yep, IE does finally come in for Aiming, but just feels a little bit too little too late. We'll try and defend the base here, but the wall's going to come in and apply a lot of pressure. Yep,
this is the sieging potential of a Taliyah composition. So incredibly powerful as they will be able to wipe out the turret. Still an opportunity for a team fight perhaps here for DK, but it's just not feeling very good. And they're going to have to really get their ducks in a row. It's going to have to be one of those miracle fights if they are going to make that one happen. As another culling comes through, of course, Keria, his favorite target. But aiming not really able to do too much of anything at all, as now Doran just making his way over. Gumayusi with a nice spell shield there, avoids getting knocked up. Could have been a dangerous one, as now in goes Lucid, finds the angle as Doran's going to get pushed back. That's kind of where he wants to be. Headbutt pulverize, and they take down both of the solo laners in an instant. Shiu does go golden though, as aiming picks up a double, but then he's lying on the floor. And Lucid, the last man standing, it's a quadra kill for the Chovy, as they're looking to set it up, and there's the penta for Oner. If there's ever anyone who is deserving in this game, it is Oner. He has been so good, and gets to celebrate with a jungle pentakill at the end.
A crazy performance from Oner, delivering the bounce house onto DPLUS. This J4 performance. And